Market analysis Thursday, March 13th. Stan Ehrlich, good morning. 9:47 California time. And we are right now making minor new lows for this big move down in the E-mini. Right now. But we are oversold and have been for a couple of 3 weeks, quite a while. And we are at the bottom almost of a support area. And this is a very critical price level right here. So if the market turns around at this point after making new lows in oversold condition in a support area, especially at one of the exact edges of it, it's where the market did turn around back in September. We could have, if it gets strong enough, and I'm not putting it past it by any means, volatility has increased quite a bit. We are down 7.5 or so points at the moment, or 75, 78 on the mini 7.5 in the S&P. But it could turn around and end up at a minimum closing higher than the close of yesterday. That would be a very interesting reversal. But if we can get above yesterday's high, we would have a combination I would love and a major ER signals buy signal. But again, it has to go all the way back up at least to unchanged to a little higher on the close. But if it can get above yesterday's high, that's a much stronger indication that the market is about ready to rally. If all of that turns out to be true, it'll probably come up to about 58, 58.00 on the E-mini, and fairly quickly as well, maybe within a week. We'll see what happens after that. But I think there's a darn good chance that we just might have witnessed to the tick a turning point back up. But if that doesn't hold and we do continue to make new lows, we will probably enter, in my opinion, the exhaustion weakness phase, which is a very sharp, big break. And that could get finally to my minimum downside objective, which was again 54.50, give or take a little, all of a sudden. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, markets tend to do something along those lines on, the end of a week Friday. So we're at an important juncture here. It's either about to collapse pretty quickly, in my opinion, or this could be the beginning, and you don't see it yet, of a turn up. Let's look at the 1-minute chart. Sharp break, got fairly oversold on the 1 minute, but we have to come back up, in my opinion, at least up to 56.10 in order to get some significant ball rolling here on the upside, then a little higher to 56.23 to make a new high for this day, this session, then even higher to offset some of the resistance areas that occurred yesterday, in particular the high of the day. Now, I can say that about the S&P 500 spider. I can say it except for the support area. On the 1 minute, I can say it also in a minor variation about the QQQ. I can say the same thing for the QQQ 1-minute chart. They're all about the same. What I really like about the E-mini is it made a new low for the whole move down, but we're close enough to that and below yesterday's low in the other indexes also. So I'm really looking for a bullish engulfing green. I kind of doubt I'm going to find it, but it won't surprise me because I've seen this come out of nowhere before. And here's the 1 minute for the NASDAQ. Of course, it looks on the surface terrible, but that's exactly the way bottoms start. They look terrible at the lowest tick. Next, YM, new low for the move down, just reaching a support area. Time for a bounce, I think. Oversold conditions, support, and a new low. Again, it's asking quite a bit to go flip-flopping from these levels down 6 or 7 on the E-mini at the moment. And that means, 60 to 70, and go all the way back up to yesterday's high. Quite a flip-flop. Okay, let's go to the YM 1 minute. And of course, it looks terrible. Russell looks terrible. New lows for the trend down, but very oversold and hitting support. And I love those situations because it takes a lot of people by surprise. Okay, 1 minute, Russell looks the same, pretty close to being terrible. Kind of starting to come up a little bit. Bonds. Well, I am half tickle pink. At least I touched my green circle today. Remember, I'm calling for a low tomorrow. But look what's happening. Today, the market went down to new lows for a couple of weeks, touched the top of my circle. I much rather having had it gone down to about 115.11, but it didn't reach that low. But at least it touched the circle. I wanted to be in it, but it only needed a couple more ticks. And I wanted it to be tomorrow. So I was off one day and a little bit too high at the moment. We're actually higher on the day now by 10, and it has had a new low for a couple, 3 weeks. So this could be a reversal in progress. Now, it's not oversold. I don't have much else to work with, but this is a possible last shoulder low on a head and shoulder bottom that started back in November. If we do start to turn around in earnest and make some minor new highs, I'll be detailing again the significant major upside upside objectives that I have in mind because of the head and shoulder pattern and a 1.5 year double bottom formation that is also in 10-year notes, this chart, and the head and shoulder is in this chart, although the last shoulder is a lot higher than one would have normally expected, but it's there. Body parts are there. So are we turning or not? I think there's a chance. I like what I see. Next is crude oil. Well, minor new high, down on the day. Support does seem to be working, was oversold, almost hitting support, and starting to make minor new highs for 2 or 3 days. But we're now back down some. So it's got to turn back up again. I could see it coming and making a new low a little bit and bouncing off the support, getting oversold again, and then trying the same thing a little bit lower. But I do think it's in general in the process of bottoming out. What about heating oil? Pretty much the same comment, but we're low and last like the stock indexes, and it doesn't look like it at the moment. But very close to oversold, around previous lows, which were oversold, and you do have some support in here. Yeah, okay. I think it stands a good chance of turning up. I wouldn't go short here. If I was short, I'd be lowering my stops again, locking in bigger and better profits, and watching very carefully for any indications of a turn. Natural gas made a new low, reversing back up high and last. This is a very strong uptrend. It managed to get above the resistance area for a couple, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever, and come back into it again. So I think there's a good chance it could bounce back up to 4.4 and maybe even make new highs for the whole damn bull market. Acting pretty good. Next, gold new highs totally for the major trend up for a long time. Probably at least a year. Let me see. Yeah, I think I've got 1,000 days loaded. So, wow. Yeah, for a long time. Now, no gaps to come down and close, not overbought. This could rally a bit more tomorrow again, but we are approaching overbought. I feel a little concerned about going long at these levels. I'd much rather buy a dip back to here, 29.75. I like what I see. Got to be bullish. Looking for higher highs. Silver, new highs for a while. And this now begins to damage my story about a head and shoulder top developing, which looked pretty good for a couple of weeks. But this last move up since February 28th has gotten too strong and now is making a new high for the last shoulder. And that would throw it off timing wise, I think. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to take the high for the first shoulder and go over the highest high. So I'm going to go to the middle, whatever, close enough, and then drag this all the way to the right. And I'm a little surprised. I do have another couple of weeks here. Yeah, maybe 2.5, 3, 2.5, I'll say. If we can fiddle around in that price range where we are now or the high of the day and not make any further highs, then I could do this, couldn't I? Oh, I didn't want to do that. I know the timing of this all right now, and I could do this. That actually looks more symmetrical and better than the previous one I had. I'm going to leave it right there and see if we do stop rallying and turn down. I like the timing better. Price level's a tiny bit higher than I'd like, but not much. Everything else is good. Okay, let's keep going. Platinum, not the same pattern at all. We have had some really great sell signals in platinum this last 6, 9 months. Today is a new high for the rally after being oversold in a support area. We've seen identical situations developing in other charts that don't look like they're going to do what platinum has done. So I speak up when I think I see the same things before they really are obvious. All right. Copper. Oh, there's one other thing. Gold and silver and platinum and copper all had a bullish engulfing March 11th price action. And I said so on that day, which was, of course, Tuesday of this week. There's your bullish engulfing on March 11th for the platinum. I missed silver. Silver, there's your silver bullish engulfing right there on the 11th. So what have we got? Now, a couple days later, gold new high for the whole move. Silver, new high for months and months. Platinum, a new high for weeks. But a new high since the reversal on Tuesday. It's exactly what I expected. And I said so on Tuesday. Now, copper also, strangely enough, had a bullish engulfing, had nothing to do with the precious metals on Tuesday, March 11th, and a new high also. In this case, this is above resistance, not overbought, breaking out to the upside since the June highs, and looks awfully bullish for copper. Yeah, that looks like in the next few weeks it could challenge this high for the move way up at 5.36. Yep. Okay. Grain, soybeans, oil, meal, corn, wheat. Again, broken record. I have been talking about the potential of a long-term major bottom developing, actually off and on for months. Could be maybe 4, 5, 6 months now. Today, we failed to make lower lows. Good. We rallied a little bit at the moment, up about 13, above yesterday's high. Good. Not good enough. I wanted to get up above and stay there, 1037 at a minimum. That's just the start. The real upside breakout is breaking above the recent rally high around 1098. It came within 2 cents of making a new high since August, but it didn't do it. So resistance stopped it, came all the way down to support, oversold condition at support, and testing a previous bear trend line. Tested a second time yesterday and today. Well, it could be the start of something nice. I'm still looking at the potential of a long-term bottom in all the grains. Look at soybean oil. Made the new lows recently, but still support. Down on the day a little bit at the moment, not too much, but hasn't turned up at all. but it's the worst one of the group. Soybean meal has made new highs now for the last 3 weeks. Yep, and is doing the best of beans, oil, and meal's doing the best. So we do have this major support area going back to May, June of 23. Yep. Yep. And it's holding so far. And we're starting to make new highs for several weeks. That's a good sign. Now we just have to get up into the next resistance level around the 330 level and start closing above those highs specifically. And I lost my crosshair cursor. Sometimes that goes away. Good. So that would be 330. And again, the high on January 2nd. What about corn? Well, it's up a little on the day, but it's a doji. I need to get up above and stay above 477. That would make things look a lot better. Then I would be expecting a move up probably to 496 and maybe even at 518. Above 518, we got something really important going. That would mean this large head and shoulder bottom. First shoulder low, February 26 of 24, and a bullish engulfing ER buy signal on the exact low day. Bottom of the market looks like a double bottom over a 2-day period, but it's, give or take August 26 and 7 of 24. And that was by itself not only the head of this large 1 year potential head and shoulder bottom, but it was at the time the head of a smaller head and shoulder bottom that has already worked completely and very well, pretty normally. So that got up to its upside objective, and that was already January 23. It come and gone. Will the bigger pattern with the smaller one inside also work? Wait, just support areas bouncing off of oversold conditions and almost, well, maybe a penny or so, new high for a week and a half. Looking better. I want it to get up more, stay stronger, close at the high of today so far or higher. That'd be nice. And we're just coming up away from this last low. The real upside breakout is going to be closing above 621. Sooner the better. That will get something rolling on the upside much more profoundly in longer term. Now we've got cattle. Finally, overbought condition today and another new high. Since my bullish engulfing, I said so on the day it turned March 4th. Green, oversold, bullish engulfing, classic ER signal, buy signal. Great. Worked very nice. Time for it to about now start to fail. Overbought conditions, approaching previous tops. Maybe it'll get up a bit more for the next day or two, but we're in the last stages of this particular rally off of that great buy signal. Okay, hogs. Now, minor new low in the dip, only for a few days. That's usually not that big a deal. Nothing major. In a support area. Not sure here. I want to say it's going to stop going down, turn back up because of the oversold condition at the bottom of support. That was a classic turn right in here. And that was on March 4th. So that's what I'm going to say. I think it's going to make highs higher than 88.50 soon, like next week, and start to move up more. It's got a very small gap to close around 93. That would be my objective at this point. And back to the E-mini at the moment. Are we doing anything on the upside so far? Well, no, not really. And let's look at the NASDAQ 1 minute real quick. No, it tried to bounce a bit, and that's coming back down right close to the lows. What about the YM 1 minute? Yeah, they're all about the same. Nothing unique about any particular chart. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.